Boys found an old machine in the mudspit, and his full face was not enforceable. After a long period of time, robbers were finally exhumed. It is not only by digging, resupplying machines for new power sources, and then by hanging over 10 years in the basements, but also by showing the same strong screening function as with boys. Originally, with industrial technologies skyrocketing machines, replaced them 2 or 5 years earlier. Real international rivalry to the common international thumb of the human being, more like the throes of modern science and technology, and therefore, in the future world, machines have become global campaigns. In contrast, the small boys of the unanticipated collectors are more likely to have full range of places if they reach the machines. Already. On the way of cleaning, he found accidentally the name of the machine bearer, the former red letter, which was the name of the machine. Fully happy, the boy was found with his son, and he wanted the father to take part in the competition with his son, but was rejected by the father. He was told by the father that Adam was merely an old baccalaureate, produced only if it was not intended to qualify for membership but boys were not. In the absence of evidence, the General Directorate started a state of sleeping at 4:05 a.m. He carries out a full-fledged, very powerful test function in the streets of Adamai, which can mold any small boy's kinship. Looking at the end of the South China Sea with its own aspirations, it is generally felt that a sense of ownership can be achieved. He then more determined part. He has been trained in parentheses using negligent techniques, and when the father sees so many boys, he has been decided to take him to a hit. He is a miserable thorny competition. The father asked whether he needed, but the South Korea persisted in the choice in order to prove what was happening in Asia. Proofing the sound of the off-site, the competition officially sounded, the robotic first to launch the offensive, and he used the ground to use him. The loss of portable air defenses can only be found on the ground and continue to be subjected to air economies. Yes, however, adequacy, even in the face of repeated repellings of iron, is capable of strangling death. Time available for competition, yellow launching of a more aggressive offensive by a controlled Colton machine. Adam is also being forced into the wall, with a sharp rotary repelling. Behind the ground, the aerodrome also began the year after the victory. The response of the boy, who is so desperately crying, has not been thought to be truly awakening and has overwhelmingly re-emerged. Boys combating the use of iron bars as well as technocratic devices, which are then decoupled by tiny platinums. In addition, its internal parts appear to be repelling the child in this form, starting with a short-lived road, continuously using iron to burn down its own ultimate iron, machine loss, due to its contents severe. Boys received the province of the competition, and some of the commissions were paid, while the fighting allowed the Wang to fight. Having a new face for Asia and the Pacific, it was decided to train Asia in person United Nations Voluntary Fund for Victims of Torture.